Hello everyone, welcome back. In this video, we'll cover React Router and how we can navigate between of our pages in our React projects. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe to don't miss the rest of our React crash course, and let's jump into the video. What is React Router? React Router is a library used for handling navigation and rendering different pages or components based on the URL. What I mean is, let's say we have a new window here, and here let's have our simple desktop here on our VS Code, and here let's say we got this index.html as our file right here. If we got our simple HTML with this h1 of landing, and we go live and use and open this page, you can see here we got this landing page right here. And if we let's say have another page which is this about.html, we can have the same template here, and here we're going to have this h1 which tells us this about. And if we want to go between of these, what we need to do is to change this URL right here. If we use this about.html, we come to this page, and again if we use this index, we go to the landing. And of course we can have our anchor tags do these items. Here let's say we want to have this about.html which says this about page here. And here if we click this, you can see we came here into the about page, and we can do the same thing in our about page too. So let's say here we got our index.html and our home page right here. You can see we can navigate between our page this easily in simple and plain HTML as you saw. But pay attention, React is not like this, and we need to put some other codes here in our app and code to be able to do those items. And the base thing and first thing that we need to do is to install our React Router. Here if we come into our package.json and come here in our dependencies part, you can see we have the simple React and React DOM pre-installed on our React app, which are essentials for our React applications. And the first thing that we need to do is to install our React Router DOM, which is dependency for using React Router. And pay attention, we should be in our projects folder, which in our case, it's going to be this first app folder. And here, what we need to do is simply having this npm, and then we use this install, and then we have this react-router-dom. And by pressing enter here, you can see that it's going to be installed on our project. And after that finished, if you come again to this package.json and into your dependencies, you can see here you got your React Router DOM right here, as well as other dependencies. And this simply includes everything that we need for web-based routing. Now let's come and set simple app and design in our React app. So here, let's return our simple fragment right here. And actually, I'm going to run our project first. So I use this npm run dev. And here you can see we got our project running here. Let's have both of them in the same screen. And here in our app, first thing I want to have is simply this h1, which has this home page text inside of it. But we're going to have several pages, so let's create those pages first. Here in our source folder, I'm going to create another folder which has the name of page right here, and inside of this, I'm going to create my components. Let's say first we're going to have our home page right here, and we don't want to use our app page to be our home page, so we use this homepage.jsx here. And we use simple functional component in all of our items, and we don't need this import React from React because in new version it's already imported. Let's have another page with the name of, let's say, about.jsx. Again, our functional component here. And now let's import both of them here in our app component to see if they are working. So first we're going to have this home page. Right here, you can see we got our homepage, and let's actually change these items to h1. so we see this text better. And let's do the same thing with our about to, actually lowercase h1. And now let's come here and import that item here too. And now you can see if we add this, we got both of our components right here. But now let's start and create basic app structure for our routing. First thing that we need to do is wrap all of the elements that we have that we want to be in our app and React app in one single element. And we should do that in this app.jsx or this main.jsx. And that tag that we want to have to wrap all of our items inside of it is going to be this browser router tag. So we're going to have this browser router right here, and if you use VS Code, if you open tag and type the name and hit enter, it's going to import the hook that you want automatically for you. So you got this browser router imported from React Router DOM. And then, of course, we need to close this. So we got our browser router right here. And what this does is basically this tag enables React router functionality through our project. After we got our item, of course, we can have anything that we want right here. For example, let's say we want to have this h1 of app right here. And let's say we want to have another HR as divider below of that. And then after this, we're going to have our routes tag here too. And what this does is basically contains all of the routes that we want inside of our app. And the routes are basically the URLs that we want to have. And inside of this, we're going to have, as I told you, our route, each one right here. And pay attention, these ones should be like this and start with capital letter. And if we import this, pay attention, this route that we imported from React Router DOM is self-closing tag. So we don't need to have another closing tag. And then here you can see our app. But here in our route, we can define the things and URLs that we want to have. And the way we're going to do that is by having this path right here. And here we're going to have the URL that we want. For example, let's say we want to have this homepage if we have this /home at the end of our URL. So we add this /home right here, and then we have this element, and we should pass the element that we want our app to show if our URL has this /home at the end of itself. And the way we're going to pass this is we're going to pass the JSX syntax component right here. You can see we have imported our homepage right here. And here, if we use this simple homepage, we should have our component right here. And now inside of our app, you can see now we got only our app and our HR and line as our divider. But here, if I add this /home right here, you can see we got our home page right here. And now if we want to have the same thing for our about page, what we can do is we should duplicate our route right here. We change the path to this about, and we want to change the element to this about too. And now this time you can see if we're at home, we got this home page. And if we change this to this about, you can see we got this about component coming up. But what if we want to have our home page to show directly when we are at our localhost 5173 or if project has deployed in our base domain? And the way that we're going to do that is we're going to remove this home right here and passing only this / right here. And by having this, you can see we are not having anything right here, and we're at the same domain and URL server that we were before, but this time we got this home page appearing right here. And actually, let's style our page a little bit so we can have some prettier web page here. Here I have my style.css, and here in our app, I want to import that. So I import just like this, and here it's going to be this style.css. And here, let's say we got this class of hero, which has this background of 2400FF, which is this nice blue color that we have. And let's say we want to make the color to the white. And now let's actually come to the home page. and let's have that div of hero right here and move our h1 inside of that div. You can see we got this. Let's actually first get rid of all of the default margins that we have. So we use this margin and make the value to 0. So we got this result. We don't need this app and HR anymore. This is our home page. And let's actually have this to display flex, justify content to be center, as same as align items to be center too. And let's have this padding of 3 rem all around of our tag. And you can see we got this. Let's do the same thing with our about to. So I'm actually going to copy this from here, paste this here, and just rename the home page to the about. Now, if we have here this slash about, we should see this as about, and if we get rid of this, we should see this as homepage. And let's actually have this font family to be Arial here too, so this displays a little more nicer. And now let's talk about how we can go between of our page that we have. You can see if we change the URL, we can do that, but we're not going to change the URL manually every time and each time we want to change the route. Let's come here into our home page. The way that we're going to do this is by using this link tag that we have again with React Router done. And we need to close this, of course. And what we need to have here inside of this tag is going to be shown to the user. So let's say here we got this go to about page. You can see we got our link right here. And the way that we're going to use this to work and not only be this dumb clickable thing here, we need to have this to right here. And then here we need to pass the URL extension that we want. And what this is going to do is going to change the path to that. For example, here you can see we got this slash about for coming to the about page. And if we use this slash about here and come and click this, you can see we got redirected and navigated to our about web page. And we can do the same thing here in our about page too. Let's here first fix our components. So we got our fragment right here. And here after this div, let's say we got our link. And here we want to go back to the slash path that we got earlier. Because we want to use link, of course, we need to import that. So we import this link from React Router DOM, just like this. And by this, you can see we got this, but we need to change this to this homepage. And you can see here, if we click here, we go to the home page, and if we click again, we go to the about page. And we can use this to create our navbar on our web page too. So actually, let's do that here in our source. I'm going to create another file here with the name of nav.jsx, which is another component. Again, functional component, of course. And here, let's say we got this simple nav here. And inside of this, we want an ordered list. And inside of this, on each list item, we're going to use this link that we learned together how to use these items. And here, let's say first we want to have this home. The next one is going to be this about. And because we want our nav to be shown in any page that we have, in our about page, in our home page. So because of these items, here we come to our app component, and here above of our routes, but pay attention, it should be inside of this browser router. And here we're going to pass that component that we got created right now. And by having this, you can see at the top, we got this little navbar. And here, if we click to the home page, we go to there. And again, we got this result and this navigation bar appearing. And let's style that navigation bar too. So here we got our nav tag, of course. Let's display it as flex and justify content to be center. And let's say have this padding of 1 rem here. We can have this nav li, which means li tags inside of nav to display as inline. And actually, because we don't want to have these underlines right here in all of our website, we could have this text decoration to be this none. And here, let's actually make the font size here to 1.2 rem so we can see these items better. And let's have some little margin of not at the top of bottom, but 10 pixel on each side. And now let's come to the nav component that we have created and let's complete this link tag. So we got this 2, we equal that with this string. And for the home, we want simple slash right here because it's the base. And for the about, we're going to have this slash about for that. And by having this, you can see if I click this home, we are at home page. And if I click this about, we're going to go to that page right here. And by having this, we can get rid of these links that we created inside of our page. But what if we want to have another third page inside of our page? So let's here create another page right here, which let's say this is going to be our account page. So I use this account.jsx here. Actually, I misspelled that. This should be count. Here we got it. And here again, we got our functional component here. And again, here, let's have our fragments right here. Then we got our hero class div. Here we got our h1, which is this count right here. And let's come here into the nav component that we have created. And let's add another one right here. We want this to be account, of course. So we add this account right here. And let's make the link to account either. And what we need to do here, if we click, you can see we got nothing shows here. So for fixing that, we need to come to this app.jsx that we got and we need to create another route. And here we need to have this path, of course, which is going to be this account. And the element for that is going to be this account here that we have here in our project. And by having this, if we click this account, you can see we got our account page working as same as other two pages. And pay attention, here you can see when we're changing page, we're not reloading our project. So this is why we're going to use our React router DOM because this is going to make our application to be SPA or single page applications. But another cool thing that we can do with React router DOM is to use parameters in routes. And what I mean from this is, let's say when we want to come to the account, we want to show the user's name here too. So when we have this account, we want to have the name of that user. What we can do is, of course, we can come to our account. We show that by passing props into the account that we have. And when we want to come to here, we need to pass props here. But that's very complicated and not covering all of the scenarios that we might have inside of our application. So the way that we can do that is here when we're creating our route, after we pass the path of our route right here, we're going to have another slash right here. And if we use this double colon right here, and then the name of the variable and parameter that we want to pass to this item, you can see we're going to create our parameter. And how we're going to use this, you can see here in our account page, we're not seeing anything here. And that's because we don't have that slash something here anymore. And that's only this account. So for creating that here in our nav, we need to have this, for example, slash John, for example. So what we should do here to our account component could control and do the thing that we want is, first, we're going to use this function of use params. And the way that we're going to do that is we're going to first create variable here, which let's say here we want to name that to this params right here. And we equal that with the function of use params. And you can see we are going to import that again from React router DOM. And pay attention, we should call this function right here. And this params is object right now. So if we simply console log this params right here and open our console right here, you can see we got this object right here with property of name and the value of John. And if you have this question of what is this property of name and this value of John, you can see here in our app.jsx, we got created this property's name right here. So what we use after this double columns is going to be our parameters, name, and property of our params object. And what we pass in this link after this second slash after our account is going to be our value for the parameter. So because here in our nav, we passed this John, we got this result of John. Here, let's actually have that here. So we got both of them here too. And let's change this John to this Ted. If we click this, you can see this time our variable have this Ted instead of that John. And now let's display that here in our web page too. So we come into this our account, and here let's say after we got this H1 right here, we got another paragraph here, and here we say this hello, and then we pass this params object, of course, and then inside of this we want this name property. And you can see we got this hello Ted, but this is not showing pretty well, so let's move that here after our items, and we can have some style for this. So let's actually use inline styling here. Let's say we have this simple margin of 3 rem here, and let's make the font size to be 2 rem. And now you can see we got this, and let's come here and change this Ted here. For example, for Tom, if we click, you can see we got this hello Tom. And if we click this account, because our link right here, if we check this nav component, have this John. If we click this account, we got this hello John right here. And of course, we can pass other items here too to filter out, for example, something inside of our component. For example, if we want to show something, we can pass the ID right here, which we're going to do later in the course. But another and the last part of the roots that we're going to talk about is having nested roots. What I mean is, let's get rid of this tabs right here and close these items, and let's come here into our app.jsx, and here let's say we got another route right here, which this one is going to be, for example, products that we have, and we need to create the page for this. So here in our page, we need to have this products right here. And inside of this is going to be again functional components. So let's create that item here too. And let's have this fragment, then this div with class name of hero. And inside of this, we want this H1. And here, this is our products. And now let's come to this app and add that component here. So we got this products right here. And let's come to the Navbar. And here, let's add another one right here. Again, this is going to be products. And now by having this, let's change this one to actually products here too. And now if we click this, not worked. Let's see, we have missed this D here. If we click again, nothing works again. Products. Let's come here. And actually that's because of this. So we need to have products right here. And now if we click again, we should got this page right here. But let's say here, we want to have 3 different type of products. Let's here in our products page, we got this simple array of cars, for example. And here we got this string of car 1, car 2, and let's say another one of car 3. Actually, let's make this the single quotation 2, so we have all of them to be same. And let's say after this, we got another one. For example, let's say this is going to be phone. So we got again phone 1, phone 2, and at last phone 3. Now, if we want to show those items in our products page, what we can do, of course, is having our map on these items that we got. So we use our map function right here. We grab the item right here and we pass simply, let's say, this H3, and inside of this, we're going to have our item, of course. You can see we got these items right here, and actually we can make this inside of ordered list. So let's do that. Here we got our ordered list, and inside of this H3 that we got here, let's use our list items. You can see here we got our items right here. Again, let's style them a little bit. We select our ordered list and we make the font size to be, let's say, 2 rem right here. And let's actually have some margin here too. I think 1 rem is going to be good. Yes, this is good. You can see here we got our cars. And if we want to have our phones, we can simply change this phone, actually phones. This should be S at last. You can see we can have all of our items. But what if we want to have only our cars or only our phones to be displayed? So the way that we're going to use this is by having our nested routes. And the way that we're going to do this is inside of our product, we're going to have another routes tag right here. And pay attention, we need to import that again from our React router DOM. And then inside of this, again, we're going to have our single route right here. This has not imported, so let's try again. Yes, we got our route right here, and this is self-closing tag, so we don't need this item right here. Now here we're going to have again the same path right here and the element right here. And now let's for a moment comment these items out so we got only our routes right here. Now here in the path, let's say first we got this cars and next one is going to be this phones. And pay attention, here in element, as you saw in the app, we're going to pass this JSX. So it's not necessary should be a component. We can have other things to pass here too. For example, we can have this H1 tag right here, which says cars right here. And if we close that tag, this should work and not have any problems. And we can have the same thing working with our phones too. So if we have this, it should be like this. But you can see nothing is worked right here. And how we should get to these cars. If we come here and instead of these products, we use these cars, you can see we can't get anything right here. If we come here into our products and put /cars right here, you can see we got nothing showing up. And that is because we should come to these apps right here, and here we should define the thing that we have done. And the way that we're going to do that, here you can see we got this route of products. We should have this /star right here. And by having this, you can see now we got our cars right here. And again here, because we have our phones, if we come here and change this cars to this phones, if we click, you can see we got this phones right here. And of course, because we're passing JSX right here, we can pass these items too. So here, let's grab this OL and put the closing tag right here. And let's uncomment these two items. And we want to pass the cars here if it's cars. And we want to pass the phones if it's phones. And actually here we grab another curly braces here. So let's get rid of that item. Now you can see we got this kind of thing and we should get rid of these static ones. You can see now it's phones. And here we can do another cool thing. We can come here and have this link here, which first one is going to be this cars and the next one is going to be this phones, of course. And pay attention, we need to import this link from our React router DOM. So we're going to do that here at the top. And here we're going to have this two, of course. And here, if we put this simple cars, let's actually style these items. Let's give these class names. So I pass this selector right here. And actually we can do these items below of our list. So let's put these items right here. And let's actually have this container here too. So this has these two links inside of it. Now we can come to our styles. We can target our container. Let's use this display to be flex here. We use this justify content to space around, and here we can have our selectors. So this is it. And here, let's say we got the simple border of 1 pixel solid gray. We got this padding of 1 rem for the top and bottom and 2 rem for the sides actually. We got this border radius of 15 pixel, let's say. And we want to make the color to the black, of course. And let's actually make the font weight to bold here. Now you can see here we got these items. Now if we come to our products, here you can see if we use this this cars, if we click on this, nothing is going to happen. And that is because our cars URL and path is not cars, and it's actually this products slash cars. Now here if we click on this cars, because we got that, nothing is going to happen. So if we come here and click again, we got this cars. And if we got the same thing for our phones, so we got this too. And here we're going to pass this products slash phones right here. And here, if we click this, you can see we got this phones. If we click this, we got this cars. And pay attention, when we click on products, nothing is going to happen and show because our product itself don't have any of these items, so it's not showing anything. But if we want to have, for example, all of them when we're on products, we can add another row here, and that is simply this simple thing. And here, instead of this cars, we use this all, and here we should create that all. So here we got this all array, which is going to be these cars, and after this we should have our phones here. So let's use this static type right here. So now we got our home, our about. If we use our account, if we have anything right here, we can pass anything that we want, and it's going to show right here as our parameter we passed with URL here. And in our products, if we come like this with the URL of slash products, we got all of our products right here. And if we click this cars, it's going to show us only the car items. And if we click on this phones, it's going to show us only the phone items. And now if we want to have the total summary for what we have done right here, we got our app component, which is the total wrapper of our application and React project, which here we got our browser router DOM. And inside of that, we have this routes, which we create routes right here. And each of these routes is going to have its own URL path and the element it's referring to. And if we want to use parameters inside of our routes, we can use this slash double column and the name of the parameter. And we can use that by having this use params function assigning to the variable. And then this is object. If we use the property name, which we have created right here, we can access to that variable that we pass through the URL. And at the last, if we want to have nested routes inside of any of these routes, first we're going to have this slash star at the end of that. And then inside of that, again, we're going to have another route here. And here, the base one is going to be one with this simple slash, which is going to work if we have, for example, in our case, URL could be something like our domain.com and then slash this products, for example. It's going to show by this because we don't have anything here. If we have this slash cars, it's going to show this one and this thing that we pass right here. And pay attention here, again, we can pass another component if we want. And if we got this to be phones instead of cars, we're going to render and show this item to our user. And the functionality that it works is, as you saw right here, it's going to be just like this. And now you're ready to navigate the React world effortlessly. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more React tutorials.